Hello everyone, I'm Psychotic, and that's also my screen name. Welcome back for episode 28 of our Medieval Dynasty Let's Play. If you learned anything useful today, or if you have a good time, please don't be afraid to drop a like, and if you're feeling friendly, maybe go ahead and subscribe. Without further ado, we're going to go ahead and load in. Alrighty, and we are in. So, I did a lot of crafting yesterday. If you look at the time, we are in day 3 of summer. I crafted through a full game day. We made 200 some flatbread from the rye that we had stashed. And that actually got us another technology level to where we can now upgrade the workshop to workshop 3. Now, I was looking at these, so the large wicker basket takes 12 sticks to make and sells for 25 coins, which is just barely a two coin. Well, you'll get one extra coin, but basically it's 2 coins per stick. Now, if we look at the small wicker basket, it costs 5 sticks and we get 15 coins, which is 3 coins per stick, meaning that the small wicker basket is the best wicker basket for coins per stick to make. The wicker crate is actually about the same. It's actually a little bit worse because it's just under 2. The 16 and 16 is 32. The wooden wheel I'm still considering because it takes 4 planks, but I think with those 4 planks we could make 40 where'd they go? Wooden vials. So you're looking at 120 coins for the same number of planks, whereas here you're only looking at 40 coins. So it's 10 coins per plank there, whereas you're looking at 30 coins per plank up here. And I can't, that's not worth it. Because each one sells for 3 and each plank makes 10. So yeah, that's a thing. So a lot of this stuff, if you were going to put it in your village for pretty, absolutely. But if you're trying to make money off of it, stick to the lower end stuff. It's going to give you more coin per. Now, a couple of things that we're going to need to do is we're going to need to build at least 2 more houses. And we're not going to pull it out yet because we're going to use it as an extra overflow house. But this small house is going to go away, and I'm going to put another fire pit here for the people that live in this area. Because I was thinking we already have the overflow house that's over on this line. This one here. So we can just have our heir live there because it's closer to everything anyway. So I think we're going to tear that one out and just make it a sitting area kind of like this, except with benches instead of the logs, now that we can put benches in. I do want to make another smithy, though. We are going to need it, at least until we can get iron, and honestly we can probably still utilize it after that. But at minimum we're going to need it until we get iron. So we're going to go ahead and place that because we know that we're going to make it. And that's going to help us fill that gap where we pulled out the stable too. So that's going to look just about right. So we're going to need 2 producers to man that. We still need 4 producers for the mine, I think. Is that right? 3 producers for the mine. But we also need the 4th one to replace the guy that I pulled out of the woodshed. So we're still going to need 4 producers. Preferably 5 because of the well, but we'll go with 4 because that's easy for mating pairs. And we have a producer that is on maternity leave, which is why we're short. So the well can wait. We can just manually handle that until then. So we're going to need 2 producers and 4 gatherers. Now, we currently have 2 overflow houses, which gets us 4 out of 6. So we really only need 1 more house. The problem is, where are we going to put it? Because at this point, we are running out of places to put houses. And I think what we're going to do is we're going to try to get it as even as we can with the back of this house. And just bring it straight out until it'll let us place it. Come on. Anytime now. So we're going to have a house there. And then we are also going to have a house here. And probably one more, but I'm going to hold off on that for right now. So that's going to replace the 2 overflow houses. Yeah, we're going to need one more. But I already moved, so I'm not going to place it right at this moment. We still need to get those built. Besides, taxes are a real problem. So our building limit, we're 10 away, so we can still get away with this. One of the things that I do want to do, though, because we are on the last day of the season and it's going to reset on us, is I want to go see what we can get for people. Because once the season resets, we'll be able to grab more people still, so I would like to be able to flesh this out as quickly as possible. So we're going to disregard our money-making schemes for the moment to try to get some staff. I tried to streamline some of the sales stuff in the last episode. That's part of what got cut, because it was a lot of time in menus doing math. Here soon we're going to have basically a whole episode of specifically streamlining stuff. There's 2 female producers. That's a rough choice. We'll remember they're here. If we can't find the diggers that we need, we will make do with producers. I would prefer diggers right now, but it is what it is. So my idea is we're going to have one of the forges refining copper and tin, one of the forges refining bronze from the copper and tin, and making stone knives for the remainder. And then the last forge is going to be making bronze tools. Provided we can get enough copper and tin coming in to make it work that way. Just the one? Hey, it's a digger and a producer. Fantastic. Actually, let's put Mr. Nearat to work right away. I should have moved the window to the other side, but oh well, it is what it is. They're NPCs, they were hobos before we found them. If their window looks at a brick wall, that's a them problem. So, it turns out that we actually had to gather the chicory for our son. We couldn't take the stuff that they got for us, unfortunately. Not a huge deal, but, you know, disappointing. Alrighty, there we go. Now we can move in one of the couples. I'm not entirely sure which house they're in, so let's find them. Oh, it's not a simple house. It's a small simple house. Ingolf and Hermenegilda? No. Those 2 are brand new. Nearat and Scarbamira. Those are both miners as well. What the hell? I thought we had some producers. Okay, well, who has the highest happiness? Alright, we're moving Nearat and Scarbamira in. So, G. Nearat. Yep. And Scarbamira. Scarbamira. There we go. And we might have time to get the other house done. It's going to be close. The whole housing district is just the suburbia hell. Hey, Stesso, what's going on, man? Well, we got our mine up, finally. It made the cave absolutely massive. Yeah, the best part about it, to be completely honest, other than them actually being able to get their own ore now, the best part about it is it actually puts up torches throughout the entirety of the cave system. Yeah, I can get iron now. I can get the ore, and I can refine it into bars, and have some, but I still can't make iron tools. That's part of the reason that I crafted so much at the end of our last episode. I made 200 and some change flatbread. I spent a full game day just crafting. And it did unlock the workshop tier 3, but we still have to go one more level down to get the forge tier 3, which is where it allows you to buy the recipes for iron tools. The flatbread craft time is 8 minutes, or I'm sorry, 8 seconds, and that's with the tier 3 of the faster cooking. So making 200 of them took the better part of a half an hour real time. And that doesn't count the running back and forth to fill the buckets back up with water. I don't think we're actually going to get to place these planks. I think it's going to tip over into midnight. Yeah, it was brutal. I also made like 50-some knives and put them up for sale. I made some fur things and put them up for sale. Made a bunch of cheese, put it up for sale. Yep, it just hit midnight because our quest just ticked over, which means as soon as we're done crafting planks, it's going to pull us to our bed. There we go. And now it's fall. I think I'm going to finish the house before I handle the fields. Alright, Otto. How'd your talk with your lady friend go? She liked the flowers very much. Asked her a few questions, get to know her a little better. You showed an interest in her. What happened next? I told her I loved her. Oh. I'm going to say that was brave. She told me she's flattered, but she's married. He's 4. A bit older than Mom, I think. Oh, that poor kid. I think they need to stagger the quests for the kid out a little bit better. Because a lot of the quests that they give you for him are, they're not something that... I mean, the friend that needed all the stuff for him, he was 2, and he was asking about all of these things for his friend, who was about my size and all this stuff, and then he made some very mature comments at the very end of the quest that were things I would expect out of somebody in their 20s, not somebody that was 2. And it was interesting, but the age just threw me. Other one to do. My worry is we have so many people that are either out on maternity leave or about to be, that I'm going to get all the jobs filled back up, and then they're going to come off maternity leave, and I'm not going to have anywhere for them to go. That's my big worry. I was hoping I could shuffle people around, like when we lost our hunter from maternity leave, wasn't a big deal. I just moved our fisher over, because all that we're doing with the fish is we're catching fish, drying the same amount, and then selling it. So we lose a little bit of money income, but we don't lose production that way. It's not like we were relying on it for food, but we're starting to, like, we just lost the herbalist, so I had to pull one of the hunters out. For the mine, I had to pull one of our woodcutters out, which, in the grand scheme of things, with the way we're still racking up logs, was not really a big deal. But I would like to not have to sacrifice things that are making us money. We should effectively be able to tear this one down, which is going to help with taxes. So originally I was going to put our heir and his wife in this house, but we have the actual overflow house that we can use that for, and it keeps them more centralized. It's not buried in the back. So I think we're going to be better off to use that one. There we go. And then we can put a fire here and some of those benches and tables, just to give them a little sitting area that's out of the wind. As I want to revamp this one eventually too. Unfortunately, beautification has fallen a little bit to the wayside for the moment. Although, to be fair, we probably don't actually need bowls. We probably have so much food, that's why I wanted to revamp what they're doing for the kitchens. So I want one to focus on cheese making. I want to automate that part so that we can just constantly sell them, because they're worth quite a bit of money. But I really want to get the mine fully staffed before I worry about that too much. I think that kid's dying. Sounds like tuberculosis to me. The nice part about automating the cheese is it requires quarks, which can only be made with the spoiled milk. So you don't have to tell them to hold off or try to figure out the math to make sure that you get enough spoiled milk, because they will only be able to make as much as you already had spoiled milk, so that'll even itself out pretty quick. Oh, there she is. So she can go to work in the new forge. Or smithy, rather. Holy crap! No wonder we're running out of tools. We lost 2 people from 2 different forges. Or smithies. We have 3 smithies with 1 person apiece because of pregnancies. Oh. Really, really bad timing. Where is she? Oh, don't tell me she's out with child too. Oh man, that one hurts. Shit. Oh, and Dagmara's pregnant, so even if we move her... Oh my god. Piss poor timing. Alright, Roland, you're moving for a minute, buddy. Oh, I just beheaded a kid with a scythe. Thank God it didn't actually hurt them. These scythes are so much better than the sickles. I highly recommend buying one if you can't make the bronze ones yet. I mean, just the area that it covers makes this so much faster and easier. Yeah, my biggest problem is if I get a bunch more people, I'm going to run into the issue of they're not going to have jobs once all the people that are on maternity leave come back. So then I'm going to have to make more jobs for them. The other thing that I wish that they would do is with the stalls. It's cool the way that they have them set up and how you can sell a certain number per day. I really like that. But I also wish that you could sell a certain number per day, but make it so that they kept a certain number in storage. As I would love to automatically sell our seeds and make sure that they leave 210 in storage for the fields. Unfortunately, the only way to do that is to break it out by day and make sure that you stop them on the day that you need to plant. And that's not the most efficient. The same with tools. I would love to be able to set them up to just sell max number of stone knives and not have, or iron knives even, and not have to worry about it. And tell them to make sure that there's at least 4 in storage so that if people need them for their job, they will always be there. But you can't do that. So you have to try to make sure that you're producing and buy enough more than what you actually are using, and that you are selling less than you're producing by enough to leave the remainder for the jobs. And it's a lot of extra math that could be easily removed by simply setting a sale cap. I mean, we did it when I was general manager of a store. We did that all the time. You had a build to number. So if you were below that number, you ordered up to that number. And if you were above that number, you didn't order. Problem solved. It's basically the reverse version of that. It's a sell to number. I would really like to be able to set up crop rotations as well, rather than having to change them every season so that the NPCs know what you want. I wish that you could just set it up for the year kind of a thing and let it go. 'Cause yeah, this is like our 3rd year of me doing the same rotation on all of the fields. So I really wish that there was a way to set them up for, in summer I want you to do this, in fall I want you to do this. And then just forget about it. So I also need to change the NPCs over a little bit for... Oh no. Oh no. Oh no, because we haven't threshed the rye yet. No, everything's fine. Everything's fine. Nobody panic. Oh yeah, that was thunder. That was definitely thunder. Why do I randomly have 1,000 flaxseed in my inventory? I mean, not that I'm complaining, that's good money, but, you know? Oh, there's still 210 in there. Okay, I guess that's for sale. You could hear the thunder? So we will take our... Okay. Now we need to figure out how much food we're actually using. So we're using 1482 food per day. So if we divide that by 30, because that's how much food potage gives, that's 49.4 crafts per day. So we'll round that up to 50, just for safety's sake. And we'll go into our kitchen. And how much potage per day are you making? 24.8. Which means you are also making 24.8? No, you're making a little bit less. Okay, so 24.8 plus 22.5 is 47.3. Out of our 49. So if we have the third kitchen make 3. Yeah, because they're making another 19. So let's have them make 3. And that'll put us at 50. And then we can use the remainder to split evenly between quarks and cheese. So let's see, what percentage was that? 16. So we're looking at 84. So 42. 42%. And then we'll tweak from there because I'm pretty sure that they are not equal. Oh, we're not going to be able to see. Okay, so the other problem is each bucket gives us 10 crafts. So this is not actually going to be enough cork to use what we have coming in. We're still going to have to do some of it ourselves, but at least they'll be doing some of it. So let's, since we don't have enough for the cheese at the moment, let's take this up to 10. And then we'll just dump the rest into cheese. Okay, that works. So now we're covered in food because we only want them eating potage. Because we want to sell the cheese. And they're making 10 quarks, and Lord only knows how much cheese because we don't have the resources for it at the moment. Because we are still getting a surplus of this. So let's take our leather to 90. And then we'll leave that at 100, and then we'll put the rest back into feathers. Wow, that actually gets us more feathers. Excellent. So now if we come down to our production, or our services and our resource stall, how many feathers are we selling daily? We are selling 85, so let's bump that up to 100. Perfect. And that's not worth selling. So now in our food stall, so we're looking at 10 cheese per day eventually. Actually, it would wind up being 5 cheese per day. And we currently have this set to sell 4 per day, so that's not going to hurt anything. That'll be fine. Then our flatbread, we still have 192 left. Okay. Okay, that works. How are we doing on coins? So we had 3 grand in there just from the day. So we're back above 30 grand, which is fine, because in 3 days we're going to lose 10 of it. Now the other big problem is we are nearing our build limit, which means we have to be careful what new buildings we put down, especially because all of the kids that they are having all of a sudden are going to need a place to live when they hit the age of majority. We might wind up having to kick some people out of the village. When the kids are grown. Yeah, I'll have to run down to the cave so that you can see how it looks with the mine stuff. So it is massive. It easily doubled the size of the cave system. And it threw torches all along it. I had planned to explore it a little more deeply today, but got sidetracked by trying to man it. So I really want to see how deep it goes, and like we went to the very ends of it, but I didn't really look around. I believe. Yes. This split right here was where we had a wall right here, and we had a wall right here. So from here on, it's all new. So there's an extra split here. Is that salt? That's salt. There's some iron. There's some iron. Oh, there's some copper. But I mean, it's massive now. Like if we take this branch, it's going to split again. And then I think one more time? No. Yeah, this place is massive. The one upside is when they put in the torches and the support beams, they also put in these signs that point you to the exit. So you might not be able to find your way to the very bottom, but at the very least you can get back out. Yeah, and this is another side branch that just keeps going. Into a dead end down here. Yeah. The downside is, once I put the storage there, I was able to clear out the mine in a single day and still have time left to do other stuff. I can't do that anymore. It is going to take more than a day to clean that out. Wow. Okay. Let's see if we can get 2 diggers and possibly 2 producers. We might just get 2 diggers and try to jigger it to limp by until we can get enough for the rest of it. Age doesn't have anything to do with work performance. It has to do with how many times they can mate. So it takes them a couple of seasons to get together. If they're within 10 years of each other, they will get together the fastest and form a family inside a house. But they have to be no more than 20 years apart, or they won't form a family at all. And between 10 and 20 years, it is much slower than up to 10 years difference. But if you have a couple that is two 18-year-olds, you have the potential of, if you move their very first child out as soon as it turns 18, they will give you 3 kids instead of 2. So if you put them in the houses that are big enough to have 2 beds, then most couples will give you 2 kids before they're too old to have kids anymore. But if they're 18, you can squeeze out 3 if you do it right. I think it's 18 to 20 you can get away with it. If they're over 20, you're only going to get 2 out of them. Which is fine. I mean, that just replaces them as they get old. But if you want to grow your population through children, because the children are an average of their parents' they're an average of their parents' skills. Berthold.
It was nice.
Oh, okay. Well, hi. I did not know you were lurking. I'm sorry. It only shows me people that have the stream up as their active window, so most of the time I just assume I'm by myself, and then I get surprised when there's like 3 or 4 people watching that I didn't know about. And something will happen and they'll start talking and I'm like, what the hell? Because YouTube's weird that way. It only counts views and likes if somebody likes, or if they have it as their active window for more than, I think it's a full minute. But that's okay. And I can't really complain either, because I'm a lurker myself, so I get it. Not focusing on getting the workers you need. Yep. Yeah. If you're quick about it, you can throw up a small house, a small wattle house, and then just tear it down later after you build them a real house. But if you're quick about it and you sprint straight home, sometimes you can get away with it. My biggest problem is I did not know about the children averaging their parents' skills in the beginning, so I have some very poor matches that already have children, or were already formed into families that I can't break up. So that was a bit of a problem. And thankfully, I mean, their kids aren't terrible. They're still 2s and 3s, and will probably be 3s or 4s by the time they become apprentices. And they'll probably be higher than that by the time that they become actual adults, but they're not as high as they could have been. It's possible to get up to 10 in a single generation if you do it right. Yeah. Well, and it's hard, because, like, you have games like Grounded, where the combat was really action-y, and I very much liked that. I used to like the combat in Valheim, too, until they did the whole perfect blocking doesn't negate all damage anymore. But, yeah, the combat in this is a little lacking. The fact that there's no armor is disappointing as well. I get that we're peasants, but we're making everything ourselves. So we could realistically, we have blacksmiths. We have 6 blacksmiths. Why could we not make plate mail? Or at least chain? Or even leather? I mean, let them make leather armor, because that was not unheard of for hunters to have leather armor from the hides of the things that they killed. Because it's also really frustrating if you don't have any points in the perks for hit points or damage reduction to get headshot by the frickin' snipers that are bandits. Yeah, that would be good. Or there used to be a quest before the game fully released. One of the quests had you getting together a bunch of logs to help build a wall around one of the other towns as part of the quest, because there were wolves in the area. And granted, the storylines are much more in-depth than they used to be. Like, they actually have a story now. But I kind of miss things like that, where you felt like you were... There's bandits. That was an arrow. Okay, quick save. Oh. Yeah, the bowmen are just absolutely asinine. Yeah, that's every time I encounter bandits, I die at least once until I figure out where the bowman is and take them down first. The only reason I was 2-shot instead of 1-shot is because I have max ranks and extra health and max ranks and reduced damage taken. And I was still 2-shot. Ah. Now, the issue is, I never did see where the bowman was. Yeah, but he saw me. Shoot again, shoot again, shoot again. Oh, that's one of our villagers. I almost tried to murder a villager. There he is. So he doesn't highlight with the skill, but you can see his name. Holy shit. And all they had in their contraband was 2 cabbages. Ugh. Alright, now I gotta find all my damned arrows. Yeah. I had one of my earlier episodes, I was on my way home from recruiting somebody, and I watched him just casually walk right in front of 2 different wolves, like it wasn't a thing, and I killed them both. I think that they don't catch aggro, as I noticed when, to test a theory, of course, that's always the excuse that I use, I tried to shoot a villager in the head, not one of my own villagers, but one of the NPCs in the head with a bow. It just goes through them like they're not there. So I'm assuming that they are exempt from the aggro rules. Yeah, he was on his way to the mine. He's like, yeah, I don't care. Arrows flying every which way. For water. So what I think we're going to do is, like I normally do at around this time, we're going to go on a big crafting spree. So rather than just chilling with the crafting screen up, I'm going to go ahead and end the stream. That way nobody has to watch a half an hour of this. So thank you for watching. If you learned anything useful, please don't be afraid to drop a like. If you had a good time, the same applies. And if you're feeling friendly, maybe go ahead and subscribe. But either way, have a fantastic rest of your evening, and we will see you next time.